Hello there guys, on this video I'm going to show you a little bit about what we've been doing on Tokens by Gen. You're currently looking at the website which is active now whilst I'm making this video, but we are working on a brand new one, so it might look different when you go over to the website. Right, we have updated the Token Generator Tool to include 3 token options, and I want to explain the difference between these, how they work and which one you might want to use for your particular project. So here they are, we've got option 1, 2 and 3. The first 2 options have reflection rewards in the native token. The third option doesn't. So the third one is no reflection rewards at all. The first 2 both have reflections. Now reflection rewards, the code for these takes up quite a lot of room within the contract itself. Now there's lots of other things that these contracts are doing, a lot of very clever and unique stuff, and that pushes us right up to the limits of what Solidity allow on a contract. And for this reason we have 2 versions of the contract with reflection rewards. One of these is if you're intending to do a pre-sale, so that's option number 1, and the same applies if you're doing a private sale as well. So pre-sale or private sale, so people buying tokens before public launch, you want to go with option 1. Option number 2 is a fair launch, where you just add your liquidity, it goes public and anybody can buy. Now, the big difference between these 2 contracts is that when you do a fair launch, your contract is extremely vulnerable to sniper bots. So in a fair launch contract, we need to have additional code that's going to protect you from people that are using sniper bots. When you're doing a pre-sale or a private sale, you don't need that code because the people that buy before launch, they increase the price of your token. And then when you do launch, they're holding tokens and they could sell, and that would make the price go negative. So sniper bots are not interested in contracts that have got a pre-sale or a private sale that inflates the price before they can buy. So we don't need the sniper bot code inside there. Now, I'm going to show you the sniperbot code in just a moment and explain a little bit about how it works and some additional protection that you get with a fair launch contract as well. So these 2, option 1 and option 2, they are, because of the reflection rewards, right on the very limits of what we are allowed to deploy since the Spurious Dragon update on Solidity. So there is a limit of the amount of code in kilobyte size that we can actually deploy in a contract. That's why we can't merge these and give you the options to make it a lot more flexible. Now in the old token tool we did do that, but it meant that we had to cut back in other areas that I felt were important. So this time we separated them out. However, with option number 3, this is a contract that doesn't have reflection rewards. So we have a lot more space within this contract to add additional code. So for this reason, option number 3 is a contract that is perfectly suited to a pre-sale, a private sale, or a fair launch. So it has some functionality in there that's going to help you set up your pre-sale and whitelist the pre-sale wallet address. It also has bot protection in there and the ability to blacklist bot users. So depending on whether or not you want reflections, you want to go with option 1 or option 2 if you're doing a pre-sale or a fair launch. And if you don't want reflections, then always go with option number 3. Now for each of these contracts, the cost is 1 BNB up front, or you can pay nothing at all up front and you will have a 1% transaction fee within your contract ongoing. Now we've also updated this fee so you can remove it at a later date if you like. So if you deploy your contract and you pay nothing up front apart from your gas, you get your 1% fee inside your contract, and if your project does incredibly well and you're making millions of dollars, obviously you don't want to be paying 1% of that out ongoing. You want to remove it. So you can do that at any point in the future for a cost of 2 BNB. So that's the way that works. And then of course once you've done that, then we're no longer taking a fee from your contract at all. So it's almost as though you paid the 1 BNB up front. So I'm going to jump into the actual code of option number 3, the pre-sale or fair launch, no reflection rewards contract. So I want to show you how the sniper bot protection works. And this particular piece of code works exactly the same on option number 2 as well. So any fair launch contract, we're using this code. So this is how it works. When your contract launches and you deploy, and you add your liquidity, we activate something that we call the launch phase. So if the launch phase is active, then it's going to run this block of code. If the launch phase is not active, then it's not going to run this block of code. So this is what this code does. So the first thing that it does is it halves your maximum transaction limit for the duration of the launch phase. So the launch phase lasts roughly 2 minutes. So for the first 2 minutes of your contract, if your maximum transaction is 1%, for the first 2 minutes, it's only going to be 0.5%. Now, the reason it does this is to spread out the price for the people that are buying. So if you set your max transaction and your max wallet holding limit both at 2%, somebody could buy a complete max wallet in one transaction right after you launch, and they're going to get those tokens incredibly cheap. So what we're doing here is guaranteeing that they're going to have to buy at least twice in order to be able to hit that maximum. So they buy once, and then they can't actually buy again. There is a delay timer that means they won't be able to buy again for another 10 seconds. And in that time, other people can buy. So it spreads out the cost. It means that, I should say spreads out the price, because when the other people buy, the price goes up. And when the first person buys their second lot of tokens to fill up their wallet, they're going to have to pay a little bit more because we've given other people the opportunity to buy in that 10-second window. So that's what this piece of code does right here. It actually finds out what your maximum transaction is, and it halves that for the first 2 minutes of your contract. Now, a little word of warning here. If your maximum transaction is already very low and you have a very small amount of liquidity in your project, then there is a chance that during this period of time, your contract would flag as a honeypot. And this is because the honeypot tool that checks your contract, it does a buy and a sell simulation for 0.1 BNB. So if you launch your contract with 1 BNB in liquidity, 0.1 BNB would be 10% of your supply, which is absolutely ludicrous. So quite often when you launch a contract, it automatically flags as a honeypot. But as people buy and the price goes up, that changes, and then they can very easily do their simulation for 0.1 BNB and you pass the test. So the next bit of code we've already alluded to. This is the piece of code that actually delays a person from buying a second time until 10 seconds have passed. So that spreads out the price and makes it more fair. The next piece of code will block any wallet that we have tagged as a sniper. So if someone's wallet address has been tagged as a sniper, they will not be able to buy until the launch phase ends, and that takes 2 minutes. So how do we tag people as a sniper? How do we know someone is using a sniper bot? Well, that's what this next piece of code does. What this does is if someone is trying to buy in the very first block after you deploy and you set your contract live, so you open trade, and if someone tries to buy within the first block, which is just a couple of seconds, there's no way that you can physically do that by going over to PancakeSwap or PooCoin and trying to buy the token. It takes longer than this. A human not using additional tools and bots and inflating gas and all of that stuff, which is frankly cheating, they cannot buy within the first block. So anybody that manages to buy in the first block must be doing something that we consider unfair, like using a sniper bot. So if we detect that they've done that, we will tag them as a sniper. So that means we've allowed them to buy, but we've also tagged them as a sniper, so they cannot buy again until the launch phase ends, which will be about 2 minutes. We also reduce the amount that they can buy. So we did say you can only buy half of the max transaction within launch phase, but if it's still the very first block, we restrict it even more. So we take the max transaction and we divide it by 10,000, so 0.01% of supply. So that's what we're allowing them to buy as a maximum if they're using a bot. So imagine how this works. You deploy, someone who's pointed a bot at your contract can buy, but they can only buy 0.01% of supply. As soon as they do that, we tag them as someone that uses a bot, and then we block them from buying again for the first 2 minutes of your contract. After that time, they can buy just completely normally, but by that time, other people will have bought the contract fairly, and those people will have inflated the price. So the object of this is not to stop people from being able to buy. It's not to inflate the tax so that we steal money from people that are using bots. Bots are not illegal. You can't stop people using them. And it's not to blacklist those people entirely so that we end up trapping their tokens so they can't sell. The idea behind this is to limit how much they can buy, so it's only a very tiny amount, and then stop them from buying any more until 2 minutes have passed, because that makes things fair to the people that are buying your token the natural way instead of using bots. So once we've done that, we've got this little bit of code here which actually records the time that the previous person bought. So if you buy some tokens, it records what time it is when you bought them, so that we know that the next time you buy, we can look at that reference, add 10 seconds to it, and stop you from buying too many times in quick succession. That's the way that works. And then the final bit of code here, it simply detects that about 2 minutes have passed and it turns the launch phase off. So your contract just goes back to normal. We're not restricting any people anymore. We're not halving the maximum transaction, and we're removing the delay timer. So from that point forward, this block of code no longer is run at all. Now, the next little section of code we have right here, we don't allow people that have been blacklisted to buy or to sell. Now, you can only blacklist wallets before you launch. This is to protect your buyers. So if you launch a contract, someone buys tokens and you're not happy with that person, you can't blacklist them. You can't block them from selling. They've bought the tokens, they own the tokens, it's their money, they belong to them, they're allowed to sell them and take their profits. And you can't interfere with that, it's their property. However, what you can do is you can use the PooCoin Sniper Watcher tool, and you can see people that are currently using sniper bots on other contracts, and you can collect their wallet addresses, and before you launch your contract, you can blacklist those people so they don't use those sniper bots on your contract. Now, what you can also do, which is incredibly useful, is you can look at other contracts that have recently deployed, and you can check the transactions on those contracts and have a look if any wallet addresses bought several times in the first second of launch. So as soon as they launch, if there's a wallet address that bought like 17 times or something within 1 second, it's very obviously a bot, and you want to grab that address and you want to blacklist it and block it completely. Now, the reason you want to do that, as opposed to just allowing this code to block them for you, is if a person makes bots and they know what they're doing and they're actually coding the bot themselves, then they could get around this code quite easily. They can see it, it's open, they can see what's there, they can see the way that they could code around it, and they would be able to bypass it. However, if they're using a wallet address that you blacklist completely, then it doesn't matter. We've blacklisted that wallet. I mean, of course, they could go and create a new bot on a new wallet, but it does offer you quite a high level of protection compared to it not being there at all. Now, most people that are using bots have no idea how the bot works under the hood. They don't have access to be able to change anything under the hood, and they have no idea how the code works. They buy the bot, they point it at a contract, they fill it with BNB, and the bot just does what it does. So if people are using something like that, then this is going to protect you from them. So that is what we're trying to do here. We're trying to protect your contracts from people that have just gone out and bought a bot and they want to use it to try and buy your token multiple times in the first second of launch. It's going to stop them from being able to do that. But if you've got a hacker, they can always get around any protection that we put in place in the contract because they can see the code. So obviously they can see what we're trying to detect, and then they can do things that bypass that detection. So every contract is always going to be a little bit vulnerable to the people that really know what they're doing, but those guys probably aren't interested in your project. They're much more interested in using their absolutely tremendous hacking skills on the big fish, so it's not something we have to worry about too much. So there we go, guys. That's all I wanted to touch on. I don't want to make this video too long or go into the rest of the functions in too much detail. I just wanted to basically point out what the difference is between these three contract options and how we are helping you to protect your contract against the sniper bots. But as I said at the beginning, if you're doing a pre-sale or a private sale, then you've really not got to worry about it. There's not really any chance that a bot is going to attack your contract if the price has already been inflated. Now, there is one other thing that you can manually do, which is incredibly effective to protect your contract. And this is something that I'm going to be introducing on a launchpad in a future utility, but you can do this yourself manually right now, and it's actually the way that we originally deployed Gen. So when you deploy and you add your liquidity, your trade is closed, so nobody can buy your token, but your wallet and nobody else's has special pre-launch privileges. So you on your owner wallet can buy the token. So one thing that you're able to do, and I did this when I deployed Gen, ask the people within your community who want to buy the token and collect BNB from those people. Then you can deploy the token and it's completely locked down, trade isn't open, but you can buy it on your owner wallet using the BNB that those people sent to you. You then end up with a load of tokens in your wallet, and the BNB's gone into the liquidity and the price of the token's gone up. Trade is still closed, so when you open trade, no bot owners are going to be interested in your token because it's like it's already launched. The price has already increases, they've missed their window. What you then do is you give those tokens to the people that sent you the BNB based on the percentage of BNB that they gave you. Now, this has another additional real tremendous benefit that makes your launch much fairer and it prevents dumps. I'm just going to wait for this aeroplane because it's going to be really loud, and have a little bit of my coffee while I do. So the other real benefit to this, if you imagine when you do a fair launch, the person that buys first gets the best price. They get the most tokens for the littlest amount of money. So that's the person who we are most worried about dumping. They've got a max bag, they paid almost nothing for it, and when they dump, they're going to take huge profits. The person that buys second, obviously second in line, the price goes up a little bit, but they've still got really cheap tokens. Each person increases the price more and more. Now, when we launched Gen, we had 33 people that sent BNB to the owner wallet, and then I bought the tokens and distributed them back to those people. So we had 33 people all buying, but doing it through my wallet. So I bought the tokens gradually until I'd spent all the BNB. So you imagine those 33 people in a queue as though we'd done a normal fair launch. Person number 1 would get the best price, and then going up and up and up until person number 33 would have the worst price. And that's where the price of the token would then stand for the next person. So trade was closed. I bought 33 different people their tokens, and then I sent the tokens to those people, and everybody got the tokens at the same price. So we got the price for all of those people was the average of what I spent. So everyone got the price as though they were in position about 16. So person number 16, whatever price they would have paid, everybody got that price. So everyone had the same fair price. So it meant that no one had got a massive gain and nobody really wanted to dump. However, when we opened to the public trade, the price was now set at what the price would have been after person number 33. So it meant that all those people within my community that sent their BNB and bought early, they got a discount on what the public price was. So this worked a little bit like a pre-sale. Everybody got a discount based on the actual launch. but nobody got tokens for almost nothing, like the person that would normally buy first. So that's the way that we did it. It was the safest launch you can possibly do, because not only is it incredibly fair, but also it is guaranteed protection against bots. You don't need code to do it. It's all done manually. It works nice, it's very fair, and everyone gets the same price, whilst at the same time getting a little bit of a discount. If you didn't want to give that discount, you could also, obviously, calculate out exactly what tokens people should get based on the price when you go public and give them that many. That's what you could do. And then you could use your extra BNB for marketing or whatever you wanted to. So what I'm going to be working on in future as a new utility for Gen is a launchpad that enables you to launch a token using that method, but completely automated. Whereas the way we did it previously was to do it manually. But if you deploy your token using Tokens by Gen, you could do that manually because your owner wallet has pre-launch privileges. Now you can also set up a private sale where you give other people's wallets pre-launch privileges by whitelisting them, and then those people can buy as well. So you've got the ability to do that as well with a little bit of a private sale. But obviously the difference here is when you whitelist people for a private sale, the person that buys first is going to get the best price, and the price will go up, and the person who is second will have to pay a little bit more, and so on and so forth. It's just like a normal public launch, apart from you are deciding who can buy. So if these are people within your community, and they're people within your Telegram that you've known for a while, then you will know that each one of those people is only sending you one wallet address, and it stops one person buying on multiple wallets because you've only whitelisted one of their wallets. Now, obviously, a person could have 2 Telegram accounts and they could speak to you from 2 accounts and give you a wallet from 2 accounts. But if these are people in your community already that you already know, it's incredibly unlikely that someone will have done that, which means you're pretty much securing that each person only has one wallet, which is one of the other problems with most token launches, is the fact that it is possible for a person to buy on multiple wallets when the price is very cheap. So these steps help us to avoid that. Some of them you've got to do manually, some of them we can do with code, and there are some of them, of course, that we're going to be having on future utilities for you so that you'll be able to do them automatically. But I do have to say that when we do anything at all with code, the hackers can see it, and they can find a way to get around it. They're brilliant at what they do, they really are. And if they look at a piece of code, they can most certainly see a way to sidestep what you've done to protect the contract and then exploit you in other ways. So if you can do manual things, it's always going to be better. But we're not trying to protect you from just 1 or 2 brilliant hackers. We're protecting you from the people that buy the sniper bots, which, they don't know how to adjust the sniper bots, they just buy them and use them, and we don't want those people to snipe your contract. So that's how it works. If you want to make a token, pop on over to tokensbygen.com, choose which one you want to make, and of course, as I said before, it's 1 BNB or nothing at all and a 1% ongoing fee that you can remove later. Have a look down here at some of the token features. We've got a few features which are completely unique to the way that we make tokens, and if you've ever had a token before, you'll really appreciate some of these features because they give you a lot more flexibility and they automate some of the things that devs have to do, which makes your lives much more simple, and it stops your token kind of going off the rails. We've also got these token features down here, so we've kind of put in everything that you need. You deploy your token on BSC, so you don't have to connect your wallet to a website address or anything like that. It's completely trustless. That sounds deceptive, but it means you don't need trust because obviously you're using BSC, not our website. So the way that you do it, you click on the token that you want. I'm going to click on option number 3. It will open up over here on BSC scan, as you can see. You connect your wallet, so you connect on MetaMask or whatever you're using. This will go green, and then in here you put in your token payment option. So either you pay nothing at all, and you get that 1% ongoing fee, or you pay 1 BNB. So that's the way you do that. You do your token name, so name, token in here, whatever you want to call your token symbol in here, which is usually the initials of whatever your token name is, your supply, so I'm going to say 1,000,000 or several zeros. The number of decimals that you need, 4 is enough. 9 seems to be popular. Some tokens have 18, which is absolutely ludicrous. I think 4 is plenty. Then in here, you'd put your wallet address, and it will deploy the tokens to that address, and that's the wallet that will get to use all the functions. In here, if you've been given a discount code, then pop it into there and you'll get 10% off the fees. If you've not been given a discount code, you still need to put something in this box. You can't actually make your token with this box being empty. Just put your owner address into the box. It has to be a genuine BSC address for this to work. So yeah, just your owner address, pop that into the box, click on the right button. You'll have to pay a little bit of gas. And also you'll have to pay your 1 BNB if you're paying up front, or just gas by itself if you're choosing to have the ongoing fee, and it'll make the contract for you. Nice and simple. Then follow the step-by-step guide, which you can download. So you just click on these links right here for the contract that you want to make, and we guide you through what I've just showed you. I tell you how to set up your token, how to add it to your wallet, how to add your liquidity, the things that you need to set your fees and your wallets, like your marketing wallet and things like that, how you deploy, how you launch, all of that good stuff. And then I explain all of the functions that are inside your contract that you might want to use to adjust things in future. And some of those functions are completely unique, as I said before, to the way that we make tokens. So there's stuff that you can do that you wouldn't normally be able to do on a standard contract that you might pay someone on Fiverr, or maybe if you forked someone else's contract or something like that. One last thing to say is your contract will be licensed using what is known as unlicensed, which is incredibly misleading. It means that your contract is not open source. People can't fork it or copy it or anything like that. It means that your contract doesn't offer a license to other people. So unlicensed. No license is being offered to the public to allow them to copy your contract. So your contract is protected. Obviously, you can use it and you can adjust it, but you can't copy and paste the code and use it for another token. Excuse me. So your code is protected. There we go, that's the updated tokens by Gen. By the time you come over to the website, hopefully we'll have the updated website in here. I did this one very, very quickly just so we had something for you guys to see that we could link to. If you have any questions at all, then by all means reply to this video, ask a question, or pop on over to our group over on Telegram, where you can ask us questions and I can either answer you myself, or there are loads and loads of people within the group that really know what they're talking about, and sometimes they know better than me. So ask your questions in the group in public rather than sending it by DM. And also, even if it is me that answers, there are other people that might have the same question as you. So if your question and the answer is public, it's going to benefit those people as well. So that's much, much better than just sending me a DM. And I don't check my DMs because I have thousands of them, and 99% of them are from scammers that are trying to get me to do something that obviously I'm not going to do. So I'm not going to wade through all my DMs to try and find genuine ones. Just messages in the public groups. That's all from me, guys. Take care. Bye bye.